Yeah, it gets done, doesn't it? It gets done. Hey, it's BT with Tales from the Gemini. Let's get right to it. My guest is ready and waiting for me, so we click him on Malik. And my guest for today is the lovely, the talented Jackie Marin. I was so excited that I went to bed late last night trying to prep for you, and then I got up and I got my yoga in because of you. I got my yoga, and then I got my bike ride in, and then I cut the yard, and I was just thinking, Jackie.
I love it. I love it.
And also, and we're gonna get to everything else, but let me tell you something. Is you on your own are incredible. I was looking you up, and I'll be the first person to say, like, okay, yeah, Jackie. And I met you at the MotoGP after party a couple years ago, and wow, I mean, beautiful. But the thing about you is, and I've lived in LA, is that your inside, your inner presence, your inner beauty is even more effervescent than your outer beauty. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I know how it is. I've been to LA before, and I know all this and that, but it's just, when you talk to you, you're real. And I feel, seriously, do you think that comes because your parents, you're the first generation Hispanic family that live in America? And you think that's the reason why? Because you're so grounded, and you talk to me. You didn't have to, because I know how annoying I can be, especially in a situation like that. But you're just so grounded and so down to earth. And you think that's the reason why, you think?
You are so sweet. Thank you. First of all, that was very kind. My parents just raised me and my sisters really well. I'm not a parent myself, so I don't know how hard it is and how tough it is, but I kind of applaud them. All of us are pretty well-rounded girls, and my parents didn't have much growing up in their childhood, and they just kind of gave us they showed us a lot of good characteristics and personal traits. Both my parents grew up in Mexico, and my dad moved to East LA. And I mean, if you know where East
Yes.
LA is, it's a hood.
I performed in East LA. I performed there. Trust me, I know all about East LA. I got there like a couple times. Seriously,
right?
yes.
Like, okay, happy to be getting out of this place alive. No, seriously, it's a rough area, and my dad would take us through there from time to time and just kind of show us and be like, hey, that's the house I grew up on. I had a couple fights on that lawn, and then me and my buddy had to scrap this person, just
Yes.
the old days. And you love hearing those stories, especially my dad's stories. He's a storyteller. He's the greatest. So hearing those stories, I think you just kind of like, wow, like I live a good life, and my parents raised us well. And, I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, I have to give thanks to my parents for.
Yeah, no, but that's the truth, though. And like, I don't kiss ass on it. I just tell the truth, because I could say it because I've met you. It's not like I'm saying it from afar, because I met you and you didn't have to, and you took the time. And that's why I say that. But where in East LA did he grow up at? Where did East LA?
I'm not too sure the exact location, but in the hood. Yeah.
So can you scrap if need be? Can you scrap?
You know what? I've never gotten in a fight, but me and my sisters, especially me and my oldest sister, we butt heads so much. Jen,
Yeah.
she's a little off her rocker.
El loco? She's a loco?
Yeah. She's like typical Hispanic Latina, just kind of very passionate, kind of aggressive. So yeah, me and her butt heads a little bit. So, but I would say, yeah, I could get scrappy, I think.
but don't touch the face. Don't touch the face. That's
touch the face.
Just hit the stomach. Hit the stomach. Go for the body. Work the body. Don't touch the face.
You know the drill. Yes.
Because it's LA. You don't want to. You don't hit anybody in the face. You just hit them in the stomach, kick them in the knee, but don't touch the face. This is the money maker. This is the money maker.
Me and my sisters actually have that rule. We know that. We're like, hey, not on the face. It's about to go down. So.
Well, you know what?
Totally kidding.
But,
Totally kidding.
I got that from watching. I watched a little bit of the Tequila Sisters just to get a little background, and I like that. Like I said, I think it's because, and I think you're right, and that's the good stereotype. We talk about stereotypes being negative, but the stereotype with the Hispanic family, and I know because, like, honestly, my roommate's girlfriend now is Hispanic, and she stays with us, and it was funny. We were talking about that just today, and it's that the good stereotype of the family, and it's true with the Hispanic family. And they're always so grounded in family. And it's like, I've never met anybody that act like they're better than anybody. It's always like that sense of just like everybody's the same. You treat everybody the same unless they treat you bad. And then that's when it's on, like Donkey Kong. But other than that, it's that family. And I love that. I've always loved that. I've always had an inkling for Latin women anyway. But I also love that the family, that stereotype of the family, which is true.
Yeah. No, absolutely. My parents, they kind of always instilled in us that family is first. And, my sisters I have 3 sisters. They're going to be my best friends for the rest of my life. So
Yes.
that's what it is. Me and my sisters are so close. I was with all them yesterday. We celebrated Mother's Day early yesterday. So it was fun. We all went up to LA and it's a little hectic up there still, but it's coming back to life. And all is good. Everyone's happy and healthy. So that's all you can wish for,
Of course. Now, is your parents still, are they in Mexico City now?
So my dad goes back and forth to Mexico. His business is out there and that's where he works. But no, my mom's out here. All of us live out here. So.
Now where exactly did you grow up? Where did you grow up exactly?
So I was born in Los Angeles, Los Angeles County.
Okay.
And grew up in Orange County in this small little beach town called Surfside.
I know where Surfside is. Yes.
You?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
Little beach town. It's a private beach. The best childhood ever. I mean, we would like just mob around our little like beach community with our crew and our like Razor scooters. We thought we were so badass, and we just ran that teeny little town. And me and my sister Lauren were actually talking about this the other day. I think we were running around some Costco's or something. We saw blow-up mattresses. We're like, remember we used to buy those and take them out in the ocean? And my parents would literally, just check up on us on the beach and then walk back into the house and then come back out I'm like, how did we survive our childhood? We were like reckless, but we would take blow-up mattresses out into the Pacific Ocean and ride the waves.
Blow up mattresses in the middle of Pacific Ocean thinking, they'll be okay.
Right? Literally, I'm like, that's wild to me. Like, I would never let my kids do that, but we had fun.
That's great parenting right there. Like,
tell the story.
Any kid falls off, that's it. But could you guys swim? Could y'all swim?
Yeah, we could swim.
Well, you never know, man. I mean,
you never know. But I don't think my mom would throw me out in the ocean and be like, all right, well, practice your swimming.
Trial by fire.
I feel like I saw my life flash before my eyes a couple times. When the waves take you down, you get stuck under the mattress. You're just like,
oh my God, that's great. That's great.
Cheap thrills, I guess the mattress wasn't that cheap. But
Yes. Okay, so were you active in any sports or anything? Like, did you personally do any sports?
So I was a ballerina growing up. I did ballet, tap, jazz. I did cheer for a little bit when I was in high school. The cool girls did cheerleading. So.
Oh no. Can you still do it? Can you still? Okay.
You know what?
Surfside mattresses.
Right? That's my past life. I'll keep that there.
Yeah.
I was a little flyer that they would throw up in the air though. Uh-huh. And one time my dad came to one of my practices and they dropped me, but that was like a free one. He literally walked on the mat and grabbed me out of there and said, you're not doing cheer anymore. Like, get back to ballet class or whatever. So
why did they drop you? Why did they drop you? Like, what happened?
It happens. They toss these teeny little girls up in the air, and sometimes, my shoelace is undone. Okay, Barbara's on the floor over here because you forgot to catch her.
And so Dad came in and said, "All right, you're done," and that was it.
My dad is like so protective of us. He was so strict. I mean, he still is.
Of course.
So with 4 daughters, I guess it's like.
Wait, he had three muy caliente daughters. What? Yeah, 4. Oh my God, that's 1, 2, Cuatro muy caliente señoras. Of course he's going to be that way. I mean, I'd be the same way too. As a matter of fact, if you were my kid, you wouldn't have left the house till you were 30 at least. At least.
Oh man.
You would have been a spinster. You would have been a spinster. You wouldn't have left the house. I would have had you chained up in a basement.
I love that.
No, but it's okay. So any other sports? Like, did you try for soccer or anything? Were you a tomboy or a girl, or how were you?
So I was the tomboy of the family for sure. I loved cars. I loved anything my dad was my idol, still is. Anything he loved, I just loved. So I was definitely the tomboy of the family, but I never really got involved with I guess like American sports, the ball sports, this and that. We would play tennis. We had tennis courts near our homes and, so we'd play tennis back and forth. I like to envision that I'm like Maria Sharapova or one of the Williams sisters. I think that's badass. But yeah, I'm far from it. So
It's okay. I mean, you're doing okay now. You're doing okay now. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You were great in your Tequila Sisters reality show and the movie. What was it? Skyline, was it?
Yeah, so I had a little stint in Skyline and this other film, Chimera. But yeah, that was as far as my acting career went.
Well, now why? Because I mean, you know how I go. Acting's up and down. You just got to stay with it. And I know the competition's tough, but you've had that personality where you could host stuff. You just got that. You've got it. You know what I mean? And like I said, when you meet you, you go, yes, I could see you in anything. So wait, I mean, do you want to pursue it or what do you want to do?
BT, I love you. Do you want to manage me? Do you want to call me off to people?
No, but I mean that. Like, and I know it sounds like I'm just feeding you a line of bull, but when you meet somebody who makes that impact on you, you go, yes, why? I mean, like, I know the business a little bit, and yeah, it's the ups and the downs, and the down times are the times that try you. And you've been through the downtime, and you're strong, so you could stick in acting because you can do it. I mean, you are a strong woman. And I mean it from the bottom. We'll get into that, and that's what you are. So you could definitely, you could host things. You could be the one, you could be on The Price is Right going, showcase that, and just do a little, turn around like you could be the woman for the mountain climber, like the odie, and you could turn like this.
Love it. I love that.
You could do that.
I might hit them up and see if they're hiring right now.
No, don't even look. You walk in there and go, I'm gonna be your next girl, boom. And you don't even look, dude, just walk in. People, they love pizzazz like that. You walk in like in a hot woman, ain't nobody gonna stop you. Wait, listen, I'm gonna be the next Miss Price is Right. And you go, you understand? They go, we have a job for you tomorrow at 2:00. Can you be here?
Right.
I'll be here at 1:52,
I love it. So, I did do the acting bit for a little bit, and of course the TV show Tequila Sisters.
Right.
But I started traveling. I decided I kind of hit a fork in the road, and I wanted to be with Nicky. You know Nicky personally. You've met him plenty of times, and he was traveling the world, and that was kind of where my life led and where my heart was. So I, followed Nicky.
Well, you know what? And I was getting to that. I really was. But, I wanted to get a background on you because it was, and I know that. And it was no disrespect at all to Nick. It really isn't. But, there is, and in a way, I kind of hate that it's like, okay, this is the person that everybody knows. And then this is, the family, but nobody really knows that. They think this is just a pretty face, and you're more than just a pretty face. You know what I mean? So, and when I met you, and this is the part where I was getting at, and it's tough for me to say because it's like when it was introduced, they go, "Hey, this is Jackie. This is Nikki's fiance." You know what I mean? And it's like I was like, and I didn't know how to react. You know what I mean? It's like I see like, "Hey," and it's like I didn't know what to say. You know what I mean? And it's like, and like I said, and you were so gracious with it, and it helped me, which I appreciate it. But how do you have people in my situation where like you don't know what to say? It's like, hey, this is Jackie, this is Nikki's fiance, and I wanted to say so much, and I go, no, dummy, don't say nothing. Just say, hey, nice to meet you, and you don't want to make it awkward. You know what I mean? And I was wanting to know, like, what do you say to somebody like me who's going to meet you and say, hey, this is Jackie, this is Nikki's fiance, and it's like, hey, Jackie, nice to meet you? Or do they go in and start talking about Nikki? Or like, how do they do that? Because last thing I want to do, or I think anybody wants to do, is make it awkward, or they don't want you to, have feelings, or they don't know how you feel about that. So it's like, how help me help, help me help you help me. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what it is. I think a lot of people, and myself too, I'll come across meeting someone who's had a tragic loss in their lives, and it is a little awkward, and you want to feel it out because, we met in a very social setting. So
Yes.
The last thing you want to do is maybe make someone cry or, pick up a sore subject. For myself, I think it's different for everyone. You do have to feel it out. You felt it out. And, now we're able to talk about it and whatnot, because we do know each other a bit more.
Yes.
But yeah, I think just, feel it out. And, if you do want to give your condolences to someone like myself, I appreciate it, and people come up to me and just say, Jackie, like, it's a pleasure to meet you. I was a big fan of Nicky. He's inspired me so much. That resonates with me. That's what I love.
Okay.
I really love to hear that. So, but I think it's different for everyone. I think maybe in the beginning it would have been hard for me, and I probably would have, started my eyes might have started watering, or, my heart skip a beat. But, in today's time, I've been able to handle it a little bit different,
Right.
and, or actually understand what has happened and what I've gone through and process it. So, I've grown a lot. And if someone does bring it up, it's not a complete like emotional wreckage, which is kind of nice. But, I'm able to say, thank you so much. I appreciate those kind words. And I love you for loving Nicky. That's literally how I feel.
Well, that's great because like I said, it's like luckily in a way that was a social setting because I know me and I talked way too much. Which is right here. This is perfect for me because honestly, even if it wasn't in that setting that we met, I probably would have annoyed you half to death. You'd have left because like this guy talks way too much, and you would have had to leave. I always say it comes back to Chad Reed. If you ever talk to Chad Reed, I've seen him in about 6 MotoGPs, and the look in his eye when he sees me, it's like, hey, what's going on? Like, oh God, he's here again, and he has to go hide. And no, it's the truth. I love Chad Reed. But when he sees me, you see that look of defeatism. Like kind of like on Rocky 3, when Rocky was fighting Apollo and Apollo knocked him down and Rocky got back up and Apollo was like, no. And that's the way Chad Reed looks at me. So I try to keep my distance, but at the same time, God, I really wanted to talk to you and just, like get to, that's why I'm so glad we had this time together. You know what I mean? Because like you said, everybody loved Nicky, but I wanted to get to know you. And we talked about these yesterday, which I rarely ever talked to somebody before the show. But like I said, I wanted to talk about the good times. And we have people that we've, that have been in our hearts and we left. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, the people that have left me, and it's funny that, and the people I'm thinking about right now are people who have been involved in GP. I always think about the good times. There's that sadness, like, oh, they're not here, but it's the good memories, man. Like that you go, okay. Like the last guy I remember we shared a hotel room during MotoGP. I think the weekend I met you, but he had to leave. And I remember we stayed in the same hotel room, and I'm afraid of the dark. So I leave the lights on. I have to sleep with all the lights on. Yeah, seriously. I'm a grown-ass man afraid of the dark. So I slept with the lights on, and we were on like the 5th floor, and I opened the curtains. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, the sun's coming in, because I got to be there for FP1 because I'm that kind of dork. So the sun's coming in, and he goes, hey, man, could you turn it? And I go, no. And he goes, okay. And I was just a dick to him the whole weekend. And when I think about him, I just think about like, yeah, I was a dick to him, but I had to laugh because that's just how he rolled, And he made me take him to Dallas to catch a plane. He didn't even ask. He goes, I got to go to Dallas to catch a plane home. I said, okay. So I had to take it to Dallas. And when I think about him, that's what I think about. You know what I mean? Is that the way you think about Nicky now?
First off, am I allowed to ask who you're talking about? Would I know this?
His name was Derek Baldwin. Do you remember Derek? He hung around with me, Alonzo, and Derek was just the life of me, Alonzo, and Alan. And Derek was funny. Derek was one of those guys, man. Everybody liked Derek. Everybody tolerates me, but Derek was funny. And he stayed with me. I don't know how he got there. He got there on some kind of shaky thing, whatever. We didn't ask. He showed up. And so, like, we were like, 1 minute he can't get there, next minute he's there, like, okay, Derek. And I picked him up from the airport, and he stayed with me. And then he goes, hey, man, my flight leaves from Dallas at 6:30. I go, okay. And so I guess I'm taking you. But it made up for the fact that I was a dick to him for the whole weekend, and that's just how we rolled. So you've had to meet Derek. Derek was the best, man.
I'm sure, because I know you guys, like the crew mobbing around. You guys might have Tyson with you.
Yes.
And just around the pits. I'm like, I love these guys. They're just cruising, and they're just here for racing.
And I was the ugly one. I was the ugly one in the group. It was Alan. Then when you're with Tyson Beckford, it's like you're the ugly one, and I was the ugly one. I was the guy with the good personality. You know what I mean? All the girls wanted Tyson, and then Alan has that power pull, and it was me just going, "Hey, girls, you want to laugh?"
Oh, stop.
I was the clown of the group.
True. I don't agree with that.
So okay, so tell us some fun stories about Nicky, because I mean that's what we want to hear. You know, it sounded, you know, and honor his memory, of course, but man, we want to hear the fun stuff. Like how, I know you guys met. Correct me if I'm wrong. You met at A1 at Anaheim, right? Yep. Yeah. Tell us that story, man. How'd you meet Nick?
Yeah, of course. So a little side note, all my best memories with Nicky are more at home and, you know, in Kentucky or, you know, in an airport somewhere, far from race weekends. You know, race weekends, Nicky's laser focused, and, you know, I might like pat his back and be like, okay, have fun out there, blah, blah. I'm like, you go over there, you go, you know, because
right.
He's just focused and he's a competitor. Or, you know, the more intimate moments. But anyways, I met Nicky in 2010, first couple weeks of January. And yeah, I was with my best friend, Jackie. She's still a very close friend of mine. She lives in New York now. Her brother invited us. I don't know if you know Donnie Emler. He's part of FMF Racing. He owns FMF Racing. And so they're a big sponsor for Supercross. So I'm out there with Jackie. Her brother invited us, and from the corner of my eye, I see someone walking in front of us, in the row in front of us. And it was the most handsome, beautiful human I had ever seen in my life, honestly, still to this date. Yeah, and I was just like struck. And my girlfriend's brother, Jackie's brother, Donnie, actually introduced us. So we started texting. I remember, he texted me when I was leaving the arena, nice. The Angel Stadium.
Nice.
And said something really cute. He's always been very like funny and witty and sarcastic.
Yeah.
So I have to have that somewhere. I know I have my like old BlackBerry or whatever phone I use. But was
it love at first sight for you? Was it love at first sight for you when you saw him?
Oh, for me, I was like, I know it sounds so cheesy and just ridiculous, but I was blown away. I'm like, that is the most gorgeous person I've ever seen in my life. Like, yeah, he's going to be mine. Like, literally. I know it sounds so cliche, but yeah, that was really what went through my mind. Kind of funny. I asked Nicky, I was like, come on, Nicky, was it love at first sight when we first met, you know, later on in our relationship? And he's so brutally honest. He's like, nah, not really. Like, girl, I'm just like, never mind. Like, you sleep on your side of the bed tonight, I'll sleep on mine. And like he's so brutally honest, or was brutally honest, that sometimes it was like very painful. So
that's beautiful.
But anyways, yeah, he ended up messaging me something really funny, and it's very strange because I kind of stored, I have a terrible memory, but all of these important moments with Nicky, I like stored in my head, or like things that he had given me in passing, or like random stuff. Like they were also very sentimental to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that was like, you know, some like higher power kind of like setting me up for like what was to come, mm-hmm. you know, because I still have every plane ticket I've ever flown with Nicky for whatever reason. I've never saved a plane ticket in my life, but when I traveled with Nicky, like my first plane ticket to Europe with him, like I have that, just like weird stuff like that. But anyways, back to the night where I first met him. He texted me something really funny and like sarcastic. He's like, "Hey, so feel free to send me your address. I'm gonna do a couple drive-bys and like check up on you or something like that." And yeah, we started texting from then on and emailing. And I think it wasn't Skype at the time. I think it was like video iChat or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'd start doing that here and there. And I was super young. I think I was like 19 at the time. So anytime he'd try to video chat me, I like wouldn't answer on the first time and like go rush and put some makeup on. Oh, sorry, I'm busy, and then like call him back and like full face of makeup. Yeah, and then about like 6 months into it, we'd kind of like hang out when he was in town in California. He had a home in right up the street from me, pretty much. And yeah, so we'd hang out a little bit. Our relationship was really just like chatting online and text messaging and whatnot. And then yeah, one day, like 6 months into it, he's like, "Hey, I have to ask you something. What are you doing these dates?" And I told him I was available. I had to beg my parents to let me fly out to Europe to go meet this guy they barely even knew. Yeah, I had to ask my mom. It was a whole ordeal. Like, "Mom, boy, like Nicky, blah, blah, blah." And she had to then talk to my dad. My dad really wasn't thrilled about it. But,
I bet.
yeah.
I mean, he took you out of cheerleading practice. So why would he want you to go across the sea to meet some dude who races motorcycles? And motorcycle guys, honestly, they have that stereotype of, we think motorcycles, for some reason, you always think guys in leather jackets and rough, you know what I mean? Always.
Yes, absolutely. My parents were very like, "Wait, what? Motorcycle racing? Like what?" Because they've never, like, my dad's been a like IndyCar fan or like F1 fan, four wheels. We never really knew what MotoGP was until we had met Nicky.
Right.
And, so it's kind of cute. Like my parents and my family became MotoGP fans because of Nicky. And once getting to know him, like I remember bringing him to dinner one time at my house and my parents cooked and whatnot. And you just knew you were in the presence of someone very special. His energy's very amazing. And I mean, thank God my parents met him that one time, because then they allowed me to go to Europe with him that first time. And that's kind of where our relationship started. It is where our relationship started. But yeah, it was quite the journey.
What did your dad say after he met Nicky for the first time? Like, what was his thoughts? Like, you and him alone, like, "Dad, what you think?" What did he say?
I didn't have that talk with him after, but in the more recent years, after Nicky had left or passed, I had asked him, or he had opened up about it, and my dad's kind of emotional. But yeah, he pretty much what I said. He just knew that Nicky was someone special. You could just tell. You could tell he was a gentleman. You could tell he was someone so sweet and kind. And and you could tell he got very shy too, Nicky, the first time meeting my parents. So it was cute. It was very endearing, and they appreciated it. And of course, asking my dad, I like couldn't even look him in the eyes. He was like tearing up. I met Nicky. Yeah, and just my parents have cute memories too with Nicky. Some dinners here. Or
How about the first time you went to Kentucky? That had to be a culture shock. What was that like?
That was a complete culture shock.
I like how your face changed. It's funny because I went to acting class last night and we talked about facial transitions, and just by me saying it, I watched your face go, "Yeah, that was a culture shock." I mean, like, I mean, that was better than when I did acting class last night for my exercise. So tell me, what was it like?
Mental note, okay? That's your next acting class. My first time going to Kentucky. So I'm a total city girl. LA city girl, grew up in Los Angeles. Anytime my parents would take us on vacation, it was New York, let's go to Miami, let's go to Europe, Paris, London, all the big cities.
Right.
What we love. So that was my first time visiting, I would consider the flyover states. So I land in Kentucky. I'm literally in my like Lululemon, and it was wintertime. It was December. I land in my Lululemon like leggings, thin little leggings, a leather jacket, and my sandals.
Lululemon
I don't know what I was Yeah, I was young, so it's not like I was like, let me go check the weather, not like a responsible human being like I would do now. Like, let me check the forecast for the next 3 months, see how it's. No,
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, I packed my bag full, California weather, it's 73, 75 and sunny here all the time. So I was a little, I had to go shop at Nikki's local, like that was a
The Walmart. Did you go to Walmart? Tell me you went to
literally,
Walmart. You literally
I
tell me you went to Walmart. I know
that
you
was
did.
the first, my time in Kentucky was the first time I've ever visited a Walmart.
Yeah.
My sister moved to Kentucky with me after, everything had happened. And I took her to Walmart for the first time. It's
That's
like mind blowing. Yeah, I'm happy she experienced Walmart with me for the
that's an
first time.
experience, isn't it? Walmart's an experience, isn't it? It really is. Did you see?
It
Did
is.
you see any fights in Walmart? See any fights in Walmart?
No fights, no fights. Everyone's very pleasant in Owensboro, Kentucky. I will have to say that. I love Owensboro, Kentucky. I love the people there. But yeah, talk about being at a culture shock. It was, but I loved it so much. Like Nikki's parents live on a farm. They have farm animals. I'm like, I was in heaven being there. I
Really?
really was. Yeah.
And what was the part that resonated with you about Kentucky? Once you settled in, like, okay, this is a little different. I'm going to Walmart, but what resonated when you go, this is okay? Because sometimes it takes a while for you to take it all in, and then you go, you know what, this is kind of nice. So what part was it that resonated with you?
Okay. So the moment I got to Nikki's house, he picked me up at the airport. We drive up to his house, and he not walks me into the bedroom, but like shows me into his bedroom and says, you can put your bags here. And it was so cute. He opens up the door, and his bedspread, his comforter, was the artwork or the front cover of Scarface, the movie. Like literally, like so, like I don't know, like a 12-year-old kid or something like that. Growing up,
Yeah.
that's when I knew. I was like, we're meant to be. That's been my favorite movie growing up. I know I sound a little crazy. I told you I was like the tomboy, like anything my dad liked. I was like, oh, but Scarface was my favorite movie growing up. I walked. Nikki's whole bedspread is Scarface. I see Al Pacino laying on the bed. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Anyway, so that was kind of like a funny moment, my like first moment in Nikki's home. And and it was very interesting. It's like a total like bachelor pad.
Yeah.
Just trophies everywhere, helmets, this, that, and so it was cute.
That's great. Hey, did he teach you how to ride on the ramp? Did he teach you how to ride a motorcycle?
He attempted. So
Tell me how that went. Tell me how that went.
I'm a slow learner.
It's okay.
I will admit that.
It's okay.
So he taught me how to ride his pit bike, his Rexall pit bike. I still have that bike till this day. I like love it. I will cherish that thing. But anyways, it has like the Rexall paint scheme and all that stuff. It's super cute. So he was cycling one day, and he has his little route out in the countryside in Owensboro. So he was like, how about you follow me, blah, blah, blah. So he kind of gave me a little crash course. Very brief crash course. Yeah. He set me up for failure. I put my helmet on, my little open face Nicky helmet. And I start following him, and I kind of just kept it in second gear just to like cruise. But once a stop sign was coming up, or like a red light, in the countryside, it's like, they're just like the red lights that's like flashing.
Yeah.
It's not a legit like signal, red.
Yes.
Anyway, so I start getting nervous and getting a little squirrely, and I ended up like whiskey throttling into into a cornfield. And literally, I was deep in this cornfield, and I just remember Nicky like shouting at the top of his lungs. He would call me JPunk, JPunk, and he had to come dig me out. And I was like literally buried under the scooter. And I can't even remember how we got home, but it was like, he was like, all right, we got to take you home. Like, you're done. You're cut. So that was my first lesson.
How did you whiskey throttle into a cornfield? I mean, seriously. And you weren't even drunk. How did you whiskey throttle into a cornfield? I would think a MotoGP rider would teach his chick how to ride a bike better than that. I mean, seriously.
That's some country shit right there, because it's like, oh, she just ran into a cornfield.
Exactly. Hey.
I'm a slow learner.
Well, you know what though? But I grew up in Oklahoma, so it's the same kind of thing, right? Is that the greatest way is if you crash into a cornfield, what are you gonna hurt? That's the greatest thing about growing up in the country. People make fun of me being all countrified. And by the way, my entire family except for me, work for Walmart. My entire family except for me. I'm the only one that got out. You understand? I'm the only one.
Cycle. I love it.
I'm breaking the chains around you. Now I'm breaking the. But that's what my dad said. You know what? No Walmart for me. And I marched out of Oklahoma and I took off the blue and white and I've never walked back in.
Best.
I took it off. I go, no, not for me. And I walked out. It was almost like Officer and a Gentleman. They go, I ain't gonna be no Okie from Muskogee. And I just walked out and I said, no Walmart for me. And I've left that. But the greatest thing about growing up in Oklahoma is you know how to ride a motorcycle in the countryside. And that is underrated. Honestly, that's under. So you crash into a cornfield. Girl, you're one of us now. You understand? You're one of us. You should.
Pride in that, by the way.
You should move here to Indianapolis, right, and become like a I don't know, one of those girls that waves a flag, like a flag girl at the Indy 500. Bring your parents here. Seriously, bring your parents here, right? I mean, honestly, come to Indy. You've already experienced Walmart, and you at Walmart in Indiana. Oh my God, yes, girl, you're one of us now. You're one of us. You're children of the corn. So come here and be with us.
Children of the corn. I love that. Hey, and by the way, no disrespect to Walmart and your family that's worked at Walmart. I love that place. Like, I need to find one local around here because they have all the streaming deals. Small plug, shout out to Walmart.
True story. True. I lie to you not. And my family's been like, my mom and dad never really got along, but they're great parents. But as mom and dad, but as husband and wife, they were horrible. So we all got together about 10 years ago, and I swear to God, this is the greatest Christmas ever. We got together and they told Walmart stories. And it was the greatest Walmart. I mean, that was the greatest Christmas we ever had. Seriously. Come on, my mom was like, I remember one time there was a fight there. And my dad, oh, yeah, oh, really? How about the fight that one time during Black Friday? And mom was like, oh, really? And they got together. We told Walmart stories. My dad told a story how he stopped a dude from shoplifting a flat screen TV. My mom told a story how she broke up two ladies fighting, and one was Hispanic. No offense to you. And she told the story. I mean, it's everything. I mean, Walmart is everything.
I'm kind of mind blown about that story. That's a beautiful story.
No, it's not. It's sad. It's actually sad. No, it's actually sad. It really is. That's my kind of life, though. I mean, and people say, like, sometimes I wonder, like, why, living in Indiana. And true story, 2 weeks ago, I'm sitting at a motorcycle dealership, and this guy goes, man, I have a $600 truck with a $10,000 dirt bike, and I go, you're my people, and that's the way I feel. So you know how we live here. You know how we live. I mean, you got the supermodel looks, but you got the Walmart mentality, and that's what it takes.
That's what it takes. I believe that. That's like my dad. He's successful, this and that, but he still has that like street, that hood credit, and props to him. Kid from East LA coming up and making it. So I get that Walmart street mentality.
That's what it is, baby. That's what it is. So
you can't be like you said. You're like, no, it's a sad story. It's not sad. That's who made you who you are today, and you're look at you. You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, only the part you can see. Yeah, until I walk out in my truck. I walk out my truck that has 414,000 miles, and I'm thinking about getting a dirt bike. Yeah, that's my mentality. That's the Walmart mentality. I have a truck with 414,000 miles. It's on the second motor. I got on the second transmission, and I'm really thinking like, man, should I pull the trigger on this dirt bike? I mean, that's
shopping for new bikes. Bike life. You gearhead bike life people, unreal.
Okay, now, what was it like going in that atmosphere when you were like, okay, you're in a new atmosphere. You've never been around motorcycles. I'm just talking out of my ass here, but okay. So you're in that. Did you encompass? I know you're with your man, and okay, that's what he does. So I'm gonna be with it. But did you grow to love it and have a passion for it like he did, or did you admire the passion and it wasn't really your thing?
I grew to love it and really admired motorcycle racing and anything that kind of Nicky did. Like, even I see cyclists on the road and I have like so much respect for them, just like what, athletes these people are and like, what they endure just in their little workouts, because I saw what Nicky did and how driven and determined he was. And, but for Nicky, motorcycle racing was his life. That's all he loved and that's all he wanted to do. And of course, loved his family and me. Yeah. But motorcycle racing was everything to him. And I never once got annoyed with that or irritated with that. I just love that was his passion and he was living his best life and accomplishing all his goals. And, you know, it blows my mind just to think about everything he's accomplished and has done for himself. And, you know, he never really worked a day in his life because he was racing motorcycles for a living.
Well, yeah, because that was his passion. So I mean, okay, so the part that we didn't see, you know, like most people, we just see like, hey, you know, the cameras, and hey, I sign autographs and it. But when it's all said and done with, and it's just you and him, maybe after a tough weekend of racing, maybe he had a low side, whatever. Maybe it's one of them weekends that just didn't go right. What did you see that we didn't see that you wish we could have saw?
Yeah, I don't know if I wish anyone could have seen, but I know in the beginning of our relationship, we were together for 7 years. A lot of changes had, you know, started happening throughout our whole relationship. We started growing. And, you know, in the beginning, especially during Ducati days, I think, so I met him when he was riding for Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Stoner was his teammate, and Casey was doing fairly well. I don't think Nicky was doing as well as he wanted to be doing.
Right.
You know, on the other side of the garage, it can be politics. Casey Stoner is Casey Stoner. He's obviously going to get the better equipment, the upgrades, and this and that. And, you know, the other side of the garage, Nicky might be left with old stuff and, you know. So anyways, I think those were tough times for him. And when I was traveling with him, I didn't live with Nicky during his stint at Ducati. So I was traveling back and forth. I'd go meet him in Europe, or we'd fly out together. When he would kind of take his, you know, maybe not getting on the podium or having a bad race, falling, you know, not being in top 10, would be kind of feisty and like take it kind of hard, you know, so I'd kind of just give him a little bit of space and, you know, support him when I could.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nurturer. So, you know, I might have smothered him a little too much, but, you know, just let him have his space. I was good at that as well. But during closer, especially on World Superbike and towards the end of his time at MotoGP, he started just evolving a little bit and taking those tough times like with more ease. You know, just be like, you know what, that I'm happy, I'm healthy, my family's amazing, and there's always next week. You know, so he would just kind of brush it off.
Right.
I've read stories about 2006, you know, after Estoril when Danny collided with him.
Yes.
He had to, and I didn't read these stories until after, which I wish I would have read these because I have so many questions for him.
Right.
You know, so sometimes that stuff gets, you know, I'm just like, damn it, I wish I could ask him this question. He could tell me, I could hear it from his mouth, you know?
Right.
You know, he's always been good. He's always been a very you know, not a sore loser, a team player, very strong, determined. So when I read stories about that 2006 season in Estoril, he had to brush it off. He knew. He's like, you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. I got to brush it off and get my head back in the game and train harder than I've ever trained and this and that. So yeah, Nicky's always been, you know, he's a competitor, and sometimes you knew to like, okay, I'm going to give him a little bit of space.
Yeah.
But other than that, just, yeah, he just, you know, wouldn't take it too bad. And it was, he was able to brush it off a little bit and, you know, smile, go into, you know, he's always a great athlete to have on your team.
Yeah.
So yeah, people appreciated that. And I did too.
Now, were you with him when he won that race in World Superbike?
Yes.
I think it was in Sepang, wasn't it? Was it Sepang?
Yeah.
I think it was a rainy day, and I just remember watching it back home. And man, you know, it sounds so cheesy, but I swear to God, the times I've cried watching MotoGP, a racer win a race, was when Valentino came back to Yamaha and he won in Assen, and when Nicky won in Sepang, I was so goddamn happy. I was like, yeah, and it still to this day gives me like, yes, Nicky. I was so happy. What was that like when he won? Because I know it's so hard. People don't know how hard it is to win a race, and when he won that race, what was it like when he came in? How did you feel?
Gosh, well, going up to it, so it's kind of funny. Today is May 6th. Nicky proposed to me in Venice 5 years ago. I didn't plan this out. I'm just like, oh, we're gonna be talking about Nikki all day today. I love this. And
Yeah.
May 6th was a special date for me.
Mm.
He proposed to me in Venice. That was kind of a funny ordeal. And then we headed off to Malaysia. And he won the next race. So it's kind of like very like, yes, this is amazing. I actually enjoyed watching him win in Malaysia more than I did him proposing to me.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Because that's, I mean, no offense, call me a chauvinist, but isn't that like a woman's like, he did it? I mean, so why was that more important, or you enjoyed that more than the actual proposal?
I loved Nicky so much, and his dreams became mine. I wanted to see him win another championship, especially once we started going to once he joined World Superbike. I just wanted to see that because I knew how important this was to him. Yeah. And that became important to me. Like, his dreams became my dreams. So when I saw him win that race, like, I swear to you, anytime, like, I'm one of those, like, oh, you see a shooting star, make a wish. Oh, birthday candle comes around, make a wish. My wishes were to see Nicky win a championship every time. So to see him win that race, it was just so amazing. And we were on cloud 9. Well, I was, for sure. Obviously he was, but like, I had just gone proposed to. We didn't announce it because I was like, let's take this time to do, enjoy it ourselves, and then you can go to Instagram. But yeah, it was just, that was like my dream, to see Nicky win a race. And I got to see, and it was absolutely perfect. I remember watching the race in the box. Mm-hmm. I know Nick, his right-hand man, was right there, his crew chief and everything. And I remember I tore off all my nails. I was so nervous. I was just like peeling my nails off, like biting my lip, just like, oh my God, he led the whole freaking race. And it was amazing. And in the rain, like, I know Nicky just like, he was great in the rain, but like, it was just the perfect scenario. And I couldn't have been more happy. That's probably one of the most special times in my life that I look back at as well. Nicky winning that race, which I know sounds crazy.
Wow. Wow. I think that's beautiful. That might be one of the beautiful things I've ever heard. I mean that. That's wow. Wow. Because I mean, you hear about the women, and getting proposed to, and that's the greatest day of their life or whatever. But the fact that him winning was more important than the proposal, because you knew how much that meant to him.
A thing too, like, I had to take time to like digest all this and like think about, look at all the positives. I felt like I was married to Nicky.
Well, duh, already. You were. Yes.
And we were so kumbaya, like, our relationship. In the beginning, it was, a little struggle. We would spend time away. We did the long distance thing. That was tough. And, we would fight and bicker when we weren't together. When we were together, it was like amazing.
What would you fight about? Hold on. What would you fight about? And was it ever your fault? I want to hear that. Was it ever your fault? I want to hear a woman admit it's their fault.
I'm an LA girl, so
Need you say more. Need you say more.
There's a lot to do up here. When I would be home, I would go hang out with my girlfriends, and I wouldn't say Nicky was like, oh, you can't do that, but I don't know, just being young and insecure a little bit. Like, I was super insecure. So like, literally I'm a little psycho too.
No.
He would like a girl's post or start following, he would hear about it. Yeah, he would hear about it. I'd be like, who's this? What's her name? How do you know her? Unfollow right now. Yeah. I would joke around with people. I'd be like, he's not allowed to talk to women. His mom's not allowed to call him. She has to call me, and then I will pass the phone over. I like screen all his calls. Nope. Kind of kidding. I'm not.
Kind of kidding. That's what I love about. I'm kind of kidding. Okay. I love it. You know what? It's that Latin passion is what it is. It's that Latin passion. It's not negative. It's passion. Duh. Yeah. That's what makes you ladies wonderful. The Italians and the Spanish, oh, my favorite. I mean that. The Italian, man, if I ever get married, Italians and Spanish women are
Love it. Okay, ladies, all Spanish women, Italian, you know who to hit up. BT.
yeah, if you want to ride around in a truck, in a pickup truck with 414,000 miles, and he's had a dirt bike.
I love the back of the bike way better than the front seat of a car. So you never know.
Oh my God, I love it, man. But you know what? But that's what makes you you, and that's what you know what. And honestly, and you know, we joke about it, but I think it's that passion that you guys had for each other. And of course, I mean, to me, fiance, whatever. If you're in each other's hearts, and you said it best when you, and it gives me goosebumps to talk about. But when you said you wanted him winning was more important than you than the proposal, that hit me hard. Because that to me shows, yeah, you were married. Because that's love right there. When you're that unselfish, when his happiness overrides what's supposed to be one of the greatest days of your life, wow, that hits me hard. And I mean that.
You said it right there. You just put that into words for me because I've never really been able to explain it. It sounds crazy, but yeah, seeing Nicky so happy, and he was happy when he proposed, I hope. But seeing what that win meant to him,
yes,
that meant more to me than a lot of things in my life. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean, wow, that's almost stopped me in a way because I don't. Wow, and I mean that, man. That is some love that I don't even know if I know, and I mean that. And I've been around for a little bit, but it was dark when you saw me, so you can't tell how old I am. But I've been around for a little bit, and that hits me hard. That's beautiful. And like I said, man, this is about fun. It's about a good time, and we're talking about good times, but that hits me hard. And I think, and that to me exemplifies the love that you guys had and still have. I'm sorry, have. Still, no, you still have. And I apologize, but you still have because it doesn't leave. That energy is still with you because they're in your heart. You know what I mean? You still feel them. And I heard you talk about, and I'm going to stop you right, and I apologize. But I was listening to you talk about he comes to your dreams. You were talking about him being in your dreams, right? Yeah. And I swear to God, I lied to you not. Last night, I'm trying to go think about how I'm going to approach this because I'm going, man, during the course of me talking, I know I say something that's kind of fucked up and I go, I don't mean that. And I'm going, okay, I got to be careful what I say. And I swore to you on my life that, and when I went to bed, and I don't really dream anymore, but I had a vivid dream that it was your house or whatever, and I was leaving, and it was just a talk. I guess I left your property to talk, and then it got weird because it was like these cars and these guys tried to rob me or whatever. But it was weird. But it was about you and this conversation we're having here, and I didn't know this until afterwards, after that dream. And today I'm trying to prep again. And I got to the part in that podcast you talking to that woman about he's stealing your dreams. And I was like, wow, that was weird. I mean, you know what I mean? Because in that dream, I was talking to you at the apartment trying to, get this ready. In the dream I was. So when I left there, then this stuff happened. But it all happened. Then you said that when I heard you said it in a podcast about how he's stealing your dreams and you felt like he talks to you. And you were getting ready for that one podcast and you kept seeing the number 69 everywhere. And that's how him talking to you saying, I'm still here with you. You know what I mean? And that's what and honestly, I felt that last night because I never dream anymore. And I had a dream last night. So wow, man. I mean, wow. But it's the good stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's the good stuff. It's the good stuff.
No, I take that all as a positive. I've never, I would love to say, I dream about him all the time. It's rarely, but they've always been beautiful dreams. And maybe when I wake up, it's tough to be like, oh, reality's here. And I know he's not here physically with me, but they've always been beautiful dreams. And he's sent me some messages, and I'm not spiritual. I'm not religious. I never really have been, but after Nicky had left, I think I just kind of opened myself up to accept these because I didn't want to accept that he wasn't there. Right. And he sends me signs all the time till this day. I call it the Nikki Effect because even if I start hanging out with friends or new friends that I didn't even know Nicky, that, they know about Nicky because I talk about him often, or, they just know my story. they start to see 69 and, they take it to heart, they're like, oh, Nikki's been sending me signs, people that haven't even met Nikki. And I just love it so much. It's the Nikki effect for sure.
Well,
Um,
well, look at my thing is what? Funny Boy 6869. My YouTube is Funny Man 6869. So look at that. Wow. Meant to be. Jackie. Meant to be Jackie. Meant to be Jackie. The Nikki effect, Jackie. The Nikki effect.
Yeah.
How about this? Before we leave, let's how do I say this, but keeping it fun. Your favorite fun time memory with Nikki, and I know it's a lot, but your favorite fun time where it always leaves you like laughing, like I can't believe he did, or I can't believe I did that, or we did that. What's your favorite fun time memory with Nikki?
Some of them I'll have to take to the grave with me.
I don't blame you on that one. Okay.
Some fans are probably, damn this. No, I'm just kidding. No, let me think. There's so many funny Nikki's a freaking character. There's never like a dull moment with him. But I don't know why I'm thinking about this moment. I was filming for some movie and Nikki was in town. So he stayed with me in LA. So we're staying in a hotel. My sisters were involved in everything. So we had finished, it was the end of his season. So it had to have been in November.
Okay.
And he had just got back from Valencia. I was filming, so I wasn't out there. And he came straight to LA, hangs out with me and my sisters for a week. And this guy, like he usually eats like a rabbit, like, okay, half a salad here, like super strict, just, I gave him props because I have like a major sweet tooth. So I'm like, okay, did that. But he's so like, focused and whatnot. So end of his season, he had like, I don't know, a week to like splurge or something. I always loved the end of the season because we had Taco Bell. It was late at night.
Oh my God.
We had Taco Bell crafty service. You know, when you're on set and they have to bring you food.
Yes, craft service. Yes.
Craft services. So they bring like a smorgasbord of just like crap, like Taco Bell. I can't remember the last time I ate Taco Bell. That was probably it. And Nikki went ham. And me and my sisters, we know like how he eats and how strict he is. We were like, dude, are you okay? Like third taco, fifth burger, literally, he probably had like 3 or 4 tacos, a burrito. And we were like shocked. We're like, okay. Anyways, we ended up going out after to like some bar in Santa Monica just to like loosen up a little bit. And Nikki's not a drinker, but he's just funny as hell. You would think he was drunk half the time. He starts going up to some like country, this guy, we're in LA, he's wearing cowboy boots, a cowboy hat. And he starts going up to him and it's like, hey, my little sister, talking about my little sister, Catherine, she wants to talk to you, this and that. So this guy starts coming up to Catherine, harassing her. Nikki's dying laughing. Catherine starts throwing salt at him. It was just like, I don't know. They were like kids. When my little sister Kat and Nikki would get together, they were like children. And it was kind of like a nightmare for me. Like, yeah, it was like herding cats half of the time with them.
I love it.
So I don't know. That's just a random memory that I thought of. And I have plenty more, but
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And
my family loves me.
Oh, of course. Well, like how could you not? How could you not? I mean, I just remember what I remember is me being in Phillip Island, and I think he was late getting to the box, and I go, "Hey, Nicky, can I get a picture?" And he didn't get it. He was drinking his water, he was like, and he never said a word. He's like, "Look," and we got a picture together, and that's what I remember. I mean, he was late getting to the box, you could tell, but he still took time to take a picture with me. And that's what I remember.
Still took time, of course.
That's what I remember. Yeah, great.
I love that. Yeah.
Before we get out here, I want to ask you. How's it coming with the documentary on Nikki? Is that in the works or anything, or are they going to film that, or what's going on with that?
That's definitely a passion project of mine, and it's going to happen. Okay. Right now, I've kind of come to a small halt. There's still some logistics that need to be figured out and stuff, but it will happen. I think Nikki's. Hey, I'm kidding. It's okay. My dog. It's a lot of work. Don't get a dog. Anyways, I hope she doesn't hear that. No, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'll need some time, and I'm sure the family's involvement will be in there, which it wouldn't be right if it wasn't. So yeah, it just it will happen. I'm not sure about the time frame, but it will.
You know what I was thinking? If you guys did a movie, and I had three actors involved. If you guys do a movie on his life, honestly, tell me if these three actors wouldn't go. Okay, number one, Channing Tatum to play Nicky.
Okay.
Channing Tatum, Josh Hartnett. You know Josh Hartnett? I think Josh Hartnett. And this is out of left field, but he's got that Southern kind of charm. Theo Von. You know the comedian Theo Von?
No, I don't. I'll have to look him up.
Look, he's funny as hell, and he's got a Nicky a vibe about him. He's funny. He's not as good looking, but he's a funny dude, very funny dude. And I honestly, I want you to look him up. Matter of fact, you got your phone on you right now.
I do.
I want you to look up Theo Von.
Theo?
Theo, yeah, Theo. Vaughn, Vaughn, Theo Von. He's a comedian, but he's kind of got that. He's got a little Southern vibe to him, man. And seriously.
And he's got a mullet in his main photo.
See, I'm telling you, I want you to look up Theo Von afterwards, and then you hit me up and go, you know what? That damn BT is right about everything. And then you tell me if that's not right. And what we do is we get Brad Pitt to produce it. Brad Pitt's a big MotoGP fan. He's got dough, okay? And maybe Bill Burr, he's a big MotoGP fan. He's got a little dough. Tom Cruise, he's got dough. Me, I could bring my truck for craft services, okay? So what we do is we could get this done. So I'll get one of these three actors. I'll get on it. You get on it, and we're gonna get it done.
That's my dream. Like this, one of my favorite films too is Rush, the F1 film with Nicky Lauda. I love it. The way it's filmed, it's so beautiful. It's filmed amazing. So anyways, that's kind of where I started. I want to do a featured film on Nicky, but I'm thinking starting with a documentary, then a featured film. Film's a little crazy right now, Hollywood, but that's my dream. That would be insane. Just for people to hear Nicky's story and be inspired. He's inspired so many people, and
yes,
I think people need to hear his story and like what it takes, and he followed a dream. And
yes.
He was a boy that grew up on a dirt road in Kentucky who made it to the pinnacle of his sport that's dominated by Europeans. So and just waved that American flag, and it's just a beautiful thing what he's accomplished. So I need to tell that story. In
all honest and seriousness, I think you should get in touch with Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt's a big MotoGP fan, and I think it could get done. Please, honestly, I really think you should get in touch with Brad Pitt, email him or whatever, something. You can get it done. Looking like you can get it done. You can get your foot through the door. Trust me, you can. And I think it could get done. I just want to be involved in some of it. You know what I mean? And I'm part of it. I really do. I mean, not too many black people in MotoGP. I could be the tire guy. I don't care. But I want to be involved in that. I think it's a story that needs to be told, like you said. And listen, we got to go. But before I do, and I text you before, so I'm going to ask you right now, since you're a big boxing fan, who's gonna win this weekend, Canelo or Billy Joe Sanders? Canelo.
Canelo.
Okay. Okay. Who's your favorite boxer of all? Okay. At the moment of all time, your favorite boxer of all time.
I grew up going to boxing fights with my family. Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya.
Top 5 Mexican fighters. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Top 5 Mexican fighters. Come on.
De La Hoya, Canelo.
Okay.
Vargas.
Oh, look at you, Fernando Vargas, who hated De La Hoya because he wasn't Mexican enough.
Good fights though. Like my parents would physically take us there. I loved that. The MGM Grand.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Who else do we got there? You're like really taking.
Oh my God, Mexican fighters. Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Come on. How about Julio Cesar Chavez? Come on now.
Well, Chavez had the issue with the knuckles.
You think about Margarita who did the fight with remember he put the plaster caster.
Yeah, that was Margarita.
Oh, I hate that guy for that. I hate that guy. I really do for that. I hate him for that. I don't hate anybody, but I hate him for that. Yeah.
That was pretty.
But one of my favorite fighters, your dad might know him because you're way too young.
Can I phone a friend right now?
No, phone a friend. Ask your dad about Salvador Sanchez. That's one of my favorite fighters of all time.
Okay.
Ask your dad. And you mean your dad to be like this someday. I think so. I think we will.
Oh yeah, my dad's like boxing fanatic. I actually heard him talking about someone the other day. He's like, heavyweight, this and that, he's gonna be great. I can't believe the Mayweather fight that's happening with one of the Paul brothers.
Oh,
I'm just
God. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's where everything's going. So you just kind of see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what happens with Canelo. I don't know if I'll watch. I guess I'm not that
Okay.
big of a boss fan, but I'll get the highlights from my dad.
Okay.
He'll watch and bet and everything.
And
He's gonna
more,
bet the house.
okay. And more than anything, where are you at now in your life? How are you? How you holding up? How you feeling? How's everything?
I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing great. I'm happy. I've always been very optimistic and look at the positives in life.
Of course.
So, that's what I to do. And I've grown a lot from this. And I think I have a lot of experience under my belt. And it's made me who I am today. So, yeah.
And you are a woman of your word, because I know that when people hit you up who have gone through something, you hit them back, and that's true. Because I mean, when people have lost somebody close to them, you have no problem reaching out saying, okay, I'm not an expert, but if you want to talk, we can talk. So, and that's what makes you so, like I said in the very beginning, you're more than just a pretty face. You're beautiful on the inside, and even more beautiful than you are on the outside. You're beautiful on the inside, which is what counts. So if you're going through, anybody who's going through a traumatic loss or whatever, and you have a connection with Jackie, please, you can hit her up, and she can't promise it, but she'll hit you back. And I mean that, man. And that's what, man, I love talking to you today, and thank you for squeezing me in. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's been wow. I still have that wow moment when we just had, and it still makes me, gives me goosebumps. And so I appreciate that. And that, and talking to you yesterday, and just everything. This conversation was everything I thought it would be, and then some. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, BT. You've been amazing as well. Thank you for having me on.
I can't wait. Well, everything's all open, and we see each other at a MotoGP, and I promise I want to know you too much. I promise I won't. Thank you so much, the great, great Jackie. Oh, JPunk. Can I call you JPunk?
JPunk, yes. Call me JPunk. I like that.
Jackie Marin, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that.
BT, see you later.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Tales from a Gemini, and follow JPunk at Instagram, and she, like I said, she will hit you back. I appreciate everybody watching. Hit me up with some comments, and even if you don't like it, some criticisms, I don't care. And like I say about this time, you know the word, peace.